the perspective of looking at the playoffs and how you get into the season from here?
No, I don't think so. I think there's even probably a few more winners that could possibly win a race that could continue to move that. So, the whole win and you're in is certainly alive and well, and is the best positive thing for you. So try to get a win.
Do you pay attention to the in-season tournament and everything that's coming up with? And is that something that you'll be paying attention to once that begins next weekend?
I will not. No.
Do you feel like you have to get a win now to make it?
Pretty much, yeah. I think that, points, no. You can do it on points, but with where you're at right now. But if there's two more winners that are behind you that get in, and that puts you to a negative 100 deficit, then obviously that's not going to be doable. So I think the 50 that we're behind right now is certainly achievable, but if it gets any deeper than that and we're not able to close in here in these next 3 or 4 weeks, then it's going to be tough.
Is Atlanta as exciting for you behind the wheel as it is for the fans in the stands?
It's intense, so I guess that would be exciting for us. It's certainly a lot of packed adrenaline and just action, something happening all the time, and trying to figure out your next thing and seeing what lanes are moving or what things are kind of happening in order to get yourself further up front. So it seemed like, there's a lot of maneuvering from, say, 8th to 18th, in those 10 spots, but it kind of seems like it's pretty dull maybe sometimes up at the front. Although we're all trying to get there, it just seems like it gets a little locked up because sometimes it gets that one lane, that high lane moving, and the bottom just doesn't materialize.
Last week, notwithstanding, Michigan was a really good momentum builder, it seemed like, for you guys at the 8 team. Is there anything you can carry from that into these next few weeks? There's a whole lot of unique tracks coming up here, so I'm not really sure how things work week to week behind the scenes for you guys, but is there anything you can take from that?
No, I would just say that, each week we try to continue to focus on that week and making sure that we know what to do and can do all the things that we need to have good results. So there's a few road courses coming up. So honestly, you would say that, hey, we screwed up road course points last week, and so now we're going to not be very good on all the rest of the road courses, which I wouldn't say is true, but you can either do really well and get some good points at those races with staying out in stages and things like that, or you could have what happened to us last week and have an incident where you get 0 points, So that's why it's racing. Just go do it.
What do you love about Pocono so much?
Pocono's fun. It's very challenging and gave me a headache for a lot of years, but about 2014, 2015, I started to pick up on the things that you really needed to have good here to be able to go fast and to have success. And so that's certainly been the case of my JGR days and winning here 4 or 5 times in the last little bit.
When you see drivers like Stenhouse and Hocevar have this back and forth, and they kind of this war of words almost, are you entertained by it? Do you just laugh? Do you give it any mindset or thought at all? Bemused? I don't know.
No, not really. I guess just if you're around them on the racetrack, then you just kind of like keep your eyes open, right, for for that time of payback. But I could certainly sympathize with Stenhouse and the agony that he's had over the last few weeks, but it kind of goes along with everybody. Frankly, we would have said the same thing about Stenhouse years ago, so just kind of is what it is.
And the other thing, last question, and I don't know if you saw it last week with Josh Berry. Stenhouse went over to confront Hocevar, and Josh Berry saw this and just was leaning against the railing, kind of taking it in. Do you ever seen a moment on pit road you're like, oh, these guys are going to have a moment here and I want to watch this, or anything like that? Think of Harvick, remember Texas with Brad and Jeff,
I don't know that I've ever really been a spectator to those. I've mostly been a participant, so I can't say that I've ever really been one where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to stand here and check this out because I see it coming. I'm so just in my own little world that after a race is over, I'm pretty much out of here. You know what I mean? I'm over it.
Thank you.
Kyle, there's a lot of buzz about Dale Jr. being on top of the pit box for today's Xfinity race. As somebody who was also a car owner and as a driver, how difficult is that transition to make?
It's all publicity, but spin it how you want it. He's just going to be a warm body sitting on top of the box. They've got enough stuff from the shop and enough technology these days of being able to have the crew chief still involved. So, you know, I could say I could do the same thing, you know, with one of my truck teams, but the guys at the shop would be the ones handling it. But still, great, you know, cool eyeballs and, you know, putting some attention on their team and stuff like that. I mean, JRM's one of the top 2-3 teams in the Xfinity series, and so may the best man win.
Is that something you would ever do full time?
Crew chiefing?
Yeah.
No. I already crew chief enough with a 10-year-old driver, and it's enough of a headache.
Thank you, Kyle.
Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.